to order, and we will start with the roll call. Asphodel Norwood, Mayor Wilford.
Here.
And Deputy Mayor Burt. Is it? Kevin Monaghan, we have Mayor Graham.
Present.
And joining us later will be Deputy Mayor Huntley. Duro Dummer, we have Mayor Watson. Good morning. And sending regrets is the Deputy Mayor Nelson. Havelock Belmont Methuen, we have Mayor Martin.
Present.
And online, Deputy Mayor Webb.
Present.
Thank you. And in North Kawartha, online is Mayor Amiot.
Good morning.
And Deputy Mayor Whalen.
Here.
Autonomy South Monaghan, we have Mayor Taylor, myself, Deputy Mayor Clark. In Selwyn, we have the Mayor and Deputy Warden Senes. And good morning.
Yeah. Present.
Okay, I'm sorry. We have the Mayor and I said Deputy Warden Senes, yes, and the Deputy Mayor Black. And in Trent Lakes online, we have Mayor Lambshead and Deputy Mayor Armstrong. And we have the Deputy Mayor from Kevin Monaghan has now connected, and welcome Deputy Mayor Huntley.
Good morning.
And we will move now to the land acknowledgement.
With deep respect, we acknowledge the lands and interconnected waterways that bind us together, the foundation for all life. These lands serve as a keeper of history and stories and are a source of inspiration. In recognizing this, we embrace that all living things possess an important energy and purpose. We extend the utmost gratitude to the original peoples who have been caretakers of these lands and waters of this region from time immemorial, and to this day who continue this commitment. Peterborough County's dedication to reconciliation remains steadfast. In this spirit, we are committed to nurturing meaningful partnerships and connections that contribute to an environment of prosperity and well-being for all generations to come. This acknowledgement is made on the Treaty 20 land and the territory of the Mississauga and Anishinaabe, and within the traditional lands of the Mississauga and Chippewa nations, collectively known as the Williams Treaty First Nations. Further, our gratitude is extended to the nations of Alderville, Beausoleil, Curve Lake, Georgina Island, Hiawatha, Rama, and Scugog Island.
Thank you. I will ask for a motion for the adoption of the agenda, please. And moved by Councillor Wilford, second by Councillor Armstrong, all in favor. I will just remind everyone that we will be moving into closed session at 10 a.m. Does anyone have a disclosure of pecuniary interest in any agenda item? If so, please disclose your interest and the nature of, and I see none in the chamber or online. We have our minutes of June the 25th. I need a mover for those and seconder. Moved by Councillor Lambshead, second by Councillor Amiot. All in favor? So moved. And we'll move right to our first delegation and welcome the Honourable Emma Harrison, our new member, MP from Ottawa. So welcome.
Thank you. Good morning. I've had the pleasure of meeting with several of you during the election and throughout the summer, and I look forward to meeting and working with all of you as we move forward. I am going to introduce myself a little bit because sometimes I assume people know more about me than they do. I have been a member and a person who has lived in this county my whole life. I'm turning 40 this year, so I've spent 39 years in this beautiful place that we call home. I decided to run in this last federal election because I have 3 young children. My daughter turns 1 this Saturday. I have a 2-year-old and a 10-year-old. And I'm deeply concerned about the future for them and for all children as we move forward. So it was a difficult but easy choice at the same time, in which that I was motivated by my family and my children, and as well as this beautiful place we call home. I am very, very proud to be from this area, and I would like to make sure that it's represented as such. My husband is actually a Peterborough paramedic, so I know the struggles that you're facing being from such a vast county. It's pretty unbelievable, the level of what you have to deal with and the resources that are afforded to you to do so. So another reason why I'm here is I think that the rural perspective is often very much overlooked. And I think that in conversations that I have, often people don't understand that the issues we're facing in the urban centers of our country are also issues we're facing in the rural aspects of our riding. They're unaware of transportation issues, healthcare issues, homelessness, housing issues. And I think it's really important to bring that perspective to the table every single time. Because so often the focus is on the urban center, but we have such an incredible, we were just discussing, we have such an incredible agricultural community. And I think that's really important as we move forward. We decide, when people think of Peterborough County and they think of the riding of Peterborough, we decide what that narrative is. Because we can. When we think of Niagara on the Lake, and we think about Prince Edward County, I don't have to explain those places to you. You already have a vision in your head. And I think we've done such a phenomenal job promoting tourism and agriculture and business in Peterborough County, but I think there's lots of work to do, and that is why I'm here. I'm here to listen, to advocate for you. I do not presume I'm an expert of anything, and that I'm willing to listen and to go to bat for you. You will see in time, as we get to know each other, I am a very driven person. I work tirelessly. I have a very large capacity for work. I do not need much sleep. I do not need much food, and I can keep going. I said that during the election to Andy Mitchell, and he's like, people say things like that all the time. And I'm like, okay. And at the end, he's like, it's actually insane how little sleep you need and how you just don't quit. So that probably comes from being raised on a farm. So I am a many generation farmer. I farm beef cattle with my family now. I went to Buck Run Public School. I went to Lakefield High School where I started playing lacrosse. So I tell people this because now I understand the role lacrosse and high level athletics have played in my life in this moment. So I started playing lacrosse in high school under Fred Blows. I'm sure some of you have heard of him. He basically started women's lacrosse in Peterborough and has taken it to such an incredible level. I was very fast. So he said, you're very fast, but you're terrible. We can make this work. And so in a few short years, I actually was asked to try for Team Canada. I played on Team Canada for women's lacrosse in 2003 in Towson, Maryland. From there, I received a lacrosse scholarship and went to school in the United States. And it's one of those things that when you're that age, right, you're 17, 18 years old, and you know everything, because I did, you don't really understand the foundations of of how you are built and who you become. And in this moment, this is the first time I fully respected and with gratitude understood the role elite athletics have played in my life. Because I do not quit. I'm very driven. When I'm passionate about something, I will not stop. I'm incredibly persuasive because I will not stop. And you will see that in time. That being said, I need your help. I need you to reach out. I need you to contact me. Do not assume I know something because so many things come across my desk all the time. But I do want you to know the rural community is a huge priority for me. The agricultural community is a huge priority for me. I've been put on the agricultural and agri-food committee in Ottawa because I do farm. And I'm one of the only farmers on that committee. And I think it's incredibly important as we move forward and the needs of our community and our country and the world grow, that I make sure I'm representing as well and the things that are needed. Because we do need a rural voice in Ottawa, especially. I'm sure you guys, I don't need to tell you this, but we do, because we are facing critical issues in this riding that need help. And so when you need that help, I am here. I do not care who you voted for. I do not have time for games. And I think almost all of these issues they are not partisan issues. And that is why I'm here. And why I think I will be a good representative for this community is I genuinely don't care. If you have a problem with me and I've done something wrong, please reach out. I do not want to play political tit for tat at all. It's such a waste of time. And we have so much to get to work on. And I'm ready and willing to do so. I don't think I have anything else to share. I'm trying to think. Obviously, I know you probably have a few questions. As you know, the budget I'm sure you've heard, the budget is coming this fall. And some of the things are getting rolled out really slowly, or not slowly. It feels slow, but we've been in government for a few short months. And so the housing plan, yesterday, Minister Gregor Robertson released a little bit of the prioritization of what the government is focusing on, which is speed. I will tell you a bit about Prime Minister if you'd like to know, because most people actually just want to know about him. He is incredibly focused and incredibly driven. He does not rest, and he goes and goes and goes. And for me, one of the reasons I also chose to run was because I wanted to work with him specifically because of the mission he's on and the way he carries himself and how he's tackled major issues in the past as the Governor of Canada and the Governor of Bank of England. So I think that's it. So if I can't answer your question today, I can assure you that this fall, when the budget is rolled out and we have more information, I certainly will be ready to listen and to make sure that I can lobby the right ministers to make sure when things aren't rolled out perfectly, because they never are, that we can make sure the rural community is not forgotten. And that just knowing that you have an advocate for you in Ottawa, for the rural community, because I do love this place and I love the place I call home. And yeah, and I'm very aware of the issues that are facing our county, like the drought we're in currently. I don't know about you, if you have a well, my well is dry. So we're on our pond, which we're very, very fortunate to have a secondary source of water. But we've had to bring in drinking water, right? All these things people don't understand. Drinking water for our family because the pond water, the pond has gotten so low that even all the filters in the world in the UV would never get that water clear. Corn is at about 30% of its regular growth in many fields, which is going to have profound effects for the price of food this fall and moving forward. And so, and fires, right? I contacted the minister yesterday just to make them very aware of what's going on to the north of us, the closer Bob Cajun, obviously, but, you know, just to making sure, again, that they are aware that we may need federal assistance at some point. So I think that's pretty much it. If you do have questions, I'd be happy to answer them the best I can at this time with everything rolling out. But yeah, I think that's all.
Right, thank you very much, MP Harrison, and I will open it up for questions from council and Deputy Warden Senes.
Thank you very much. Through you, Warden. I have so many questions, but I'm going to start with, first of all, in rural Ontario with our townships, we don't have the ability to pay for our own infrastructure. It's very expensive. And I want to know if there's any plans for supporting municipal infrastructure with federal funding.
Absolutely. I can't speak to anything specific, but I do sit on the Rural Caucus, and this is something we discuss all the time. Again, is the infrastructure needs of the rural community, and it's certainly something I will bring forward for you, unless it is already going to be addressed in the plans as they roll out, because I do understand that that is a huge issue, and we've discussed the infrastructure needs and issues that you're having facing even the building of housing in Selwyn as well. So I'm very, very aware. So it will be a thing that I'll bring forward now as well to see if that will be put in the budget.
Thank you.
Of course.
Councillor Black.
Thank you through your warden. Thanks for the presentation and congratulations on your election. We've met to talk about affordable housing and the project I'm involved in. Affordability was one of the biggest issues in the election, and I did read the announcement yesterday with a smile, thankfully. When do you think the budget will be presented? When will these programs actually be ready to help organizations build affordable housing in our community?
From what I know, the budget we rolled out in October.
October still? Okay. Good.
Yes, Councillor Taylor.
Thank you, Warden Clark. Good morning, Emma. Thank you for coming today, and it's very nice to meet you. We've never met personally yet, and congratulations, of course. As I listened to your bio, I couldn't help but think, in some ways, our background is similar, and I think both our personalities are the type that we do things quickly. We make decisions on the fly. No matter what you got done today, you got to do more tomorrow. And what you're going to find is the world of government is vastly different. Nothing happens quickly, and it can be extremely frustrating.
Yes.
Yes, but I think you'll find that often there's reasons for that. They're very cautious, and when decisions are made, they're made with a lot of background information and thought and discussion. So good luck with that. It takes a long time to get used to it.
Certainly. I do appreciate that. And I know that there's been a lot of pushback on how slowly we're moving as a government, which is not in fact true. And again, to your point, there is so much background information that I'm not privy to as well.
Right.
And so sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. Thank you. I did want to, a couple of points I want to make. I want to formally invite you to Keene Pumpkin Fest. As you know, it's already so.
I know. I was already invited. I came to the Keene 200, just so you know, I was. And I had every intention of coming to the Pumpkin Fest. There's one down the road from me as well. I live up the road from near McLean's, very far. So they also have Pumpkin Fest, but that's multiple weekends, but yours is one event, correct?
One day, Autonomy South Monaghan is now in your riding.
Yeah, it is.
And we were, and we were well represented by Phil Lawrence and before that Kim Rudd. I have no complaints there, but we are now represented in part of the city of Peterborough riding, which I think is really where we belong. So I look forward to meeting you, working with you. Again, you have your assistant with you as a Keene girl.
She would joke that I take her places as my like token keen person.
No.
It's a conversation starter.
With Jessica looking after you, you'll be well cared for.
I know, I'm very lucky.
The one question though, I do want to get to this is we learned with this Trump administration and the tariffs that has been easier for Canadian businesses and farmers to do business with the rest of the world than it is between the provinces. And there's been all kinds of talk of that improving, but I haven't yet heard of anything concrete. So I'd be looking forward to, Emma, to your government, trying to move that along, making it easier for our province to do business with each other.
Certainly. So in the 4 weeks of us sitting, the main objective was to get Bill C5 passed. Again, quite quickly for a government organization to move that quickly. And then they sat throughout the night with committee to make amendments. And so that is a huge priority for the government because we know that we have so much potential for interprovincial trade, but the barriers that we've put upon ourselves are obviously a huge problem. So that continues to be worked out, absolutely. But again, Bill C5 was kind of like the framework of the government moving forward as quickly as possible with the potential that we have as a country.
Thank you.
Councillor Bird, and I'm sure you're going to start with an invitation to Norwood Fair.
We'll start with that. Through you. Thank you very much for your presentation and welcome to Peterborough County Chambers. And yes, so I will start. Norwood Fair, Thanksgiving weekend. If you've never been, which I assume you've been, please come.
Of course.
Come. So no, my background is ag as well, and what I circled on my notes was supply management and the protection of it, and not a question, but please have the focus on that supply
Certainly,
management.
I can address that if do we have time? I don't want to.
Yes.
We're good. Okay. So I was on a call with Minister LeBlanc, and so one of the last negotiations was, it wasn't spoken about a lot, was the main ask of the United States was major concessions to supply management. And we've remained steadfast and of our commitment to protection of supply management because it's really misunderstood by a lot of people, right? And it is incredibly important. I have sat with the Chicken Farmers of Canada just last week. I was with the Dairy Farmers of Ontario. As soon as I came home, I have been going as fast as I possibly can to meet as many people and as many organizations to get their perspective. Because again, I know a few things, but I certainly need to learn more. But supply management, I agree with you, and I absolutely. People don't understand how important supply management is, and as we move forward with climate change being the way it is, supply management, in my perspective, in my opinion, will only become more and more important because people don't understand what things were like before supply management. And the strain that farmers were under, and also how people are so far removed from how food is produced and made. It's hard to appreciate and understand the stress. When I was at, oh my goodness, the Crowley farm.
Yep.
For dairy, they now have an operation in which one of them can do the chores, so that family can have a life. Right. So for me, as like being raised by, my dad was a heavy equipment mechanic, but also a farmer, because that's also when you're not in supply management, because you're a beef farmer, which I also chose to become a beef farmer. Questionable, is that I know the other side of not being in supply management and the market fluctuations and then the environmental issues. So yes, I would absolutely and will continue to go to bat for supply management as a person, as a politician, and as well the commitment from the federal government continues to be that we walked away from the negotiating table because it wasn't a negotiation at all. There was also a request for all reciprocal tariffs to be removed and major concessions to supply management as well as natural heritage. And they would not raise the tariffs. That was a negotiation. That's not a negotiation. That's trying to bully somebody into what you want.
Yeah.
So yes, I will definitely do so.
Thank you.
Of course.
And so just a couple of questions, and you've hit supply management, which I am a quota owner. In saying that, there is a difference between the states and certainly Canada in the size of farms. And that is why when avian flu struck, and it did strike as well in Canada, but it was in smaller flocks. When it does in the States, they're industrial farms of 1 million hens or more, and consequently, that certainly has a huge impact. As well as coming back to the dairy, most people don't realize that it's almost a reverse quota in the States, where the dairies actually contract the milk from the farmer, and they hold that basket. That never comes up. And the fact that their standard of care for animals is far different than the Canadian standard of care. And that's why our animals are more efficient and produce more. So anyway, I'll get off. No question, but thank you for supporting supply management, because it is very important on many different tentacles. One thing I want to ask is that the Prime Minister said he would make municipalities whole around DC charges. Has there been talk at the table? How will that roll out? I was very pleased when you mentioned rural, because we have to have things looked at through a rural lens. We are different than the big cities, and we do not have certainly huge pots of money sitting around with DC charges that some maybe the large centers do. So it is very important for us to be made whole. Can you comment on if that has come to the table?
It hasn't come to the table yet, but it does, as far as I'm aware, that's absolutely is still the commitment to do so, because I do understand that is unreasonable for municipalities to undertake such a huge cost. And so it will be something I will continue to bring up as well. As you're stating, the rural lens is incredibly important, because how things are rolled out in the city do not always trickle down. You guys know this very effectively in our municipalities. So I will definitely make sure that that's still discussed.
Appreciate that. That is something that we're very keen about, and any letters of support that you would need, we certainly would supply, but please keep pushing that towards the top of the pile.
Absolutely. We do have a very strong rural caucus. It's actually one of the biggest rural caucuses that we've had in, I think, I don't know how long it's been, but it is one of the largest, and it spans across Canada. And as you know, it's the same issues apply in many of the communities across Canada. So it is nice to have a bigger rural voice within our caucus, who understand, how important Canada Post is. All of these kind of little things that people kind of forget. Like, that's not a big deal. I don't use Canada Post, but that we understand that it's integral for our rural communities and our more removed and remote communities. So absolutely. I will definitely.
And just one further question, and that's around the new Crown Corporation Build Canada Homes. We have asked, we are members of the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus, and we have asked previously for a list of Crown lands that would certainly impact us being able to produce. Can you please deliver that message as well? We have not received that. It has been well over a year and a half. We've asked for that. We do have a list of provincial lands, and the EOWC is utilizing those as well, putting plans forward. We have yet to receive a federal list, and I think that would help across Canada if we had access to those lands.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. And I don't see any further questions. So but thank you very much for coming today. And we welcome you back with any updates to council again. And if we have anything that we can do as a council to help our area and push our concerns forward, we're here to work with you. So
that's fantastic. Thank you. Also, for me, no information is too much information. So just anything, just pass it along. I am a nerd for information and facts. So anything, send along. I will look at it and use it. So thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. All right. Yes.
Received with presentation.
Thank you. And seconder, Councillor Graham, all in favor? Thank you. We will move now to consent items. I haven't had any notice that anyone has pulled anything. Is there any? I see no hands here, so I will just ask for a motion to receive all consent items. And Councillor Burt and Councillor Armstrong, all in favor? So moved. Thank you. Okay, we will just skip. Right, getting me to the right page. So now we are going to move into closed session and I need a motion for that, please. Councillor Whalen and Councillor Martin, all in favor?